What's up, everybody? Larissa Shanti here with Shanti Moves, and today we're bringing you a little flow for lower back pain relief. Lower back pain is one of the most common complaints that we see as yoga teachers, but sometimes when we feel a sensation somewhere in our bodies, aka lower back, it could be being caused by somewhere else. So sometimes with lower back pain, this can mean tight upper back and shoulders, or maybe tight hips. So we're going to bring a little bit of that into our practice today as well. So if that sounds good to you, let's get down to the mat. So today we're going to get started on our backs in kind of bridge pose start. So your knees are bent, your feet are at hip width, heels are coming towards the bum. And then let's bring our arms down by our side. And then let's try to find our hip points here. So take your pointer and your index finger, find those little hard points in the front side of your hips. And then try to tilt those hips forward. So you're kind of exaggerating that arc that's already there in your lower back. And then reverse. So start to tilt the hip points back as you press the lower back down into your mat. Start to gently rock back and forth here. So tilting the hips forward, exaggerating the arch, and then tilting them back, pressing the lower back down. You can add the breath if you want. Inhaling as you rock forward, and then exhaling as you rock back. Just cultivating a little bit of awareness, a little bit of engagement and stretching in the lower back before we get going. Doing one more full round here. And then when you're ready, bring your knees to your chest, maybe a little squeeze. Bring those hands underneath your knees. Start to round the spine a little bit. So maybe pick the shoulders off the mat, bring the head off the mat, and then start to rock back and forth, giving yourself a little spine massage. If this doesn't feel good though, feel free to come up any way that you like. And once you've got enough momentum, coming all the way up. Let's come onto our knees. You can also do this in cross-legged if you find that more comfortable. So getting those sit bones settled on whatever surface is beneath them. Then start to press the sit bones down, lengthen up through the spine like somebody's pulling you with a string from the top of your head. We can add the arms to activate a little bit more length. Maybe take an inhale at the top here. And then on your exhale, take that left hand down, reach over the body with the right. Keeping those sit bones anchoring down into whatever surface is beneath them. And then opening the heart up towards the sky as you reach through those right fingers. Inhale, rising back up. Let's take it over to the other side. So right hand comes down, reach over to the left. So anchoring those sit bones, opening the heart up, breathing into the right side, left side body, breathing into the left ribs. And then inhale, rising back up. And then let's take our hands down to our legs. We're gonna take our left hand over to our right thigh. And then the right hand comes over to the left, yeah? So we're grabbing the outsides of our legs, and then we're gonna start to round our upper back slightly. So kind of that cat from our cat-cows. Chin drops to the chest. Then as you inhale, take that left arm, start to take it behind you, opening up, trying to follow it with your gaze if that works. And then you lift up through the spine as you take the hand over and then down. Same thing on the other side. So you found the roundness again. And then you're taking the right hand behind, following it with your gaze, lifting up as it comes up and over. Okay, let's do it one more time. Inhale as you take that left hand behind you, rising through the spine as the hand lifts high, and then exhaling as it comes down. Inhale, right hand goes back, up and over. Exhale as it comes down. And then lifting back up, coming back to neutral. Let's come up onto our knees. Now, if you want a little bit of extra padding here, you can maybe put a blanket down, or you can always fold one mat in half. Let's take our left leg forward. We're gonna come into a 90-90. So knees nicely above the ankle, and then hip is nicely above the knee with the back leg. We're gonna actively press down with that back foot, and then find your lower back with one hand and your belly with the other. Start to press down with that lower back or back hand and see if you can feel that tailbone lengthen and the belly button hug up and in. Then from here, start to think sending your pubic bone down to the earth. So instead of all the action coming from the knee, see if you can make it come from the hips as you sink, but keep that tailbone slightly lengthening, belly button hugging up and in. So we might not go very deep, but we're definitely gonna feel it in our right hip flexor. Let's find a breath here. And take the hands down nice and slow. Slide that leg back to come back up onto the knees. And then take the right foot forward. Again, activating that back leg by pressing the foot down. Knees nicely above the front ankle. Then find your lower back, find your belly, lengthen the tailbone down, and then sink the pubic bone down and forward onto the mat. Find a breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Bring your hands down to the mat. Take that leg behind you. And then we're going to come down onto the belly. Start to take your legs a little bit wider, so maybe out to the corners of your mat. And then your elbows come underneath your shoulders. Make sure they're not too far back so you're not collapsing there. They're right underneath the shoulders, and then your forearms are in line with your shoulders as well, so they're not coming in or out. Once you've found your alignment, if this feels pinchy on the lower back at all, you can always slide the hands a little bit more further forward so the elbows come a little bit in front of the shoulders. Then from here, press down through the elbows, lift up through the heart, lift through the crown of the head. And then a slight activation in those bum muscles and a slight activation in the lower core. Not super clenching, just a little hug. Find a nice inhale and exhale. Do 2 more of those here. And then when you're ready, start to slide down, opening your elbows to the side, bringing one hand on top of the other, and then just turn your head to one side. You give a little wiggle of the hips one way, then the other, relaxing the lower back. And then roll onto your back from here. And again, bending the knees, feet are on the earth at hip width distance, heels close to the bum. Bring that right knee to the chest, give a little squeeze, and then start to send that foot up towards the sky. Bring your hands around the back side of your thigh. It's okay if the knee is super duper bent here, but just try to start to take that bend out as much as you can, and then flex and point. Flex and point with the toes. One more, flex and point. Good. Now bend the knee. Bring that ankle over the opposite knee. Let the knee open up wide, so right knee's opening up wide. And then the toes are staying flexed. Not super flexed, there's just a little brightness. And then take your arms open to a T. Keeping this figure 4 shape, we're gonna drop the legs over to the left. So we're doing like a figure 4 twist. This is really nice for our piriformis and IT band. So if any of ever had any of that sciatic kind of irritation, this is a really good one for that. Finding a breath here. And then bring the head back to center, draw the legs back up, and then switch. Right foot comes down, left foot to the chest, little squeeze. Then start to press that foot up to the sky, lace around the back side of the thigh, and then just flex and point. Flex and point. And again, it's okay if the knee is bent. We're just trying to lengthen as much as we can while we flex and point. Bend the knee. Bring the ankle over the opposite knee, letting that left knee open up to the side. There's a brightness in the toes, so toes are slightly flexed. Arms open to a T. And then you let those legs fall over to the right. And you look in the opposite direction if it feels good on the neck. Finding that breath here again. And on your inhale, head comes back up, followed by the legs. Bring that foot down to the mat. Maybe bring both knees in for a final squeeze. Feel free to do some rotations here, so taking a knee in each hand, going one way and then the other. Whatever you need to do. And then extend your legs long, coming into final resting pose, Savasana. And then staying here for as long as you like.